This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather. Ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And normally I do a birthday boy for someone who's living and all that. But for today, February the 13th, I couldn't come up with anyone who was not living. So I decided to go with someone who was born on February 13th but is dead. Anyway, that's a picture of a great CFL legend who was mostly for Hamilton. And he is, of course, known for his shenanigans in his later years. But anyway, his name is Kong Mosca. Well, his wrestling name is, or as everyone knows, as Angelo Mosca, who was a CFL icon. So he was born February 13th, 1937 in Waltham, Massachusetts, the second oldest boy in a family of 11 children. His father was an immigrant from southern Italy, and his mother's mother, or his maternal grandmother, was an African American. And all that. The drawback was that Mosca's parents were alcoholics, and he was often neglected by them. So he ran away from home at age 16. He was a good football player, so good he went to the University of Notre Dame on a scholarship. But because of his bookmaking abilities, such as, taking down bets for other people and all that, that was frowned upon. It's basically frowned upon, too, nowadays. But he got kicked out. Then he went to Wyoming to play, but he would steal typewriters and cameras from stores and sell them on campus. His ingenuity cost him dearly. Regardless of that, the Philadelphia Eagles said, why not take a chance on this guy? So they took him in the 30th round, 350th overall. But he decided to play in the CFL, to play in Hamilton. He did graduate from Notre Dame with a degree in business administration, which was great that Notre Dame took him back after his bookmaking stuff. But the fact of the matter is he decided to play for Hamilton because, Hamilton would give him a chance. So he played a few years in Hamilton and then was traded to Ottawa in 1960, played for them for a few years, and even played for the Alouettes for a few games in 1962. But he would make his mark back in Hamilton from 1962 to 1972. In that 10-year run with Hamilton, he was a 5-time All-Star. He would play both sides of the ball, offensive tackle and defensive tackle, middle guard, and end. So he would play in 9 Grey Cup games, which is actually tied with only one other person. So it was weird to see him always in the Grey Cups and all that. I mean, he played in the 1960 Grey Cup with Ottawa. If I remember correctly, Ottawa was in that Grey Cup final. And I think 58 he was there when they went to the Grey Cup. But regardless of that, Hamilton was a pretty good team in the 60s, getting to the Grey Cups and all that. Now he's winning. I mean, in his 9 Grey Cup games, Mosca did only win 5. I mean, he won the 1960 Grey Cup with Ottawa and then won 4 with Hamilton. Unfortunately, his reputation is only known in CFL circles for what he did in the 1963 Grey Cup against BC. Willie Fleming, the star running back, was running out of bounds on a play, and Mosca got a late hit, which was kind of controversial, to say the least. Hamilton won that Grey Cup game, and Mosca got the reputation for being the meanest CFL player ever. He would actually promote it when he became a professional wrestler. He would only miss 1 game in his football career, which was pretty impressive. And in 2015, Hamilton decided to honor Mosca by retiring his number 68, which was truthfully a good move. Anyway, Mosca was actually moonlighting as a wrestler as well in the off-season. So he would wrestle in the off-season, and once he retired from football, he became a full-time wrestler. He was practically a heel for wrestlers. Sometimes he would be a good guy, but he was basically a heel. He would wrestle in the AWA and Stampede Wrestling, where he would be paired with superstar Billy Graham in tag competitions. He would actually work in the Carolinas for a while, facing off with Ric Flair, Wahoo McDaniel, Blackjack Mulligan, among others. In 1981, he would be the WWF's most hated heel due to his brutal style. He would be a contender for Bob Backlund's WWE belt, but could not win it. He actually engaged in a feud with Pat Patterson, a fellow Canadian wrestler. Well, yes. Anyway, they would fight for a while. Mosca would be a color commentator for WWF TV tapings in Ontario, because it would be huge and all of that. He had a decent wrestling career of all time. Anyway, Mosca would live in around Hamilton and St. Catharines, obviously, being a Hamilton Tiger Cat. He needed to be there, all of that. His wife was a real estate agent. And, it was weird. Well, he had 2 wives. But unfortunately, they both would die. One of cancer, one of a fatal heart attack. Anyway, in 2011, his personal life was huge because at a CFL alumni luncheon, talking about the 1963 Grey Cup, and Mosca was invited alongside Joe Kapp as they were opposing players on that 63 Grey Cup. Mosca and Kapp literally got into a fight, even though they were octogenarians. Mosca would hit Kapp on the head with his cane. The video of the fight went viral, reaching 650,000 views on YouTube, and even talked about on Monday Night Football and Dr. Phil as well. Mosca actually did auction off the cane he used and put $7,700. Mosca would be in some Canadian TV commercials, and then he said that he had Alzheimer's by 2015, which took his ability to swallow or eat solid foods. Hamilton retired as number 68. And Mosca was part of a class action lawsuit allegedly said the WWE wrestlers had traumatic brain injuries, but the companies would conceal the risks of injury and all that. Unfortunately, the lawsuit was dismissed in September 2018. Angelo Mosca would pass away on November 6, 2021 at the age of 84. He was at the Makasasa Lodge because of his Alzheimer's, but, one of the best CFL players of all time. He won a few titles. He won the NWA Canadian Heavyweight Belt 4 times. So, he was a decent guy in Stampede Wrestling and NWA. So, take it for what it is. But Angelo Mosca was fantastic. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.